One would think that staying at home for the most part would make one feel a little lonely or even isolated from the rest of the world. But I find that I have not escaped from the world, but are still held in the grip through technology, television, and news media. Sometimes it feels very much like I'm on the front lines of all that is going on in the world, with little or no power to do anything. Our days are scheduled and busy with planning and using the resources available to us to keep connected to the parish and share God's message in new and creative ways. So surprisingly, perhaps, we might just need a bit of loneliness in our lives. I'm not talking about feeling alone, abandoned, and helpless. There's enough of that without trying to find it. But rather finding a place where one, like Jesus, sought out early in the morning in the first chapter of Mark's Gospel. After being surrounded by the whole city, who brought to him those who were sick and possessed by demons, he went out to a lonely place, and there he prayed. Later in the Gospel, when the disciples told him of the death of John the Baptist, he invited them to come with him to a lonely place and rest a while. In weariness, stress, and grief, he sought out a lonely place. So what exactly is a lonely place? Sometimes this place is referred to as a deserted place. It seems that this place becomes necessary when Jesus is being overwhelmed by the crowds and the needs of people. It's not meant to be an escape from, but instead an escape to something. All of Jesus' senses were being saturated with the emotions of those who came to him, and the feelings of loss of John, whom he had come to for baptism. He needed to find a place where he could focus his attention on the source of his power without distraction. He needed to return to the center of who he was and be renewed in his mission. I think we too need a lonely place in our stress-filled world, and it seems like Jesus' actions are a good example for us to follow. He knew there needed to be a place of refreshment and restrengthening for each day's journey. There in the midst of the storm around us, we especially need to center ourselves in prayer, in a place where the voices that pull us in so many directions are stilled, and God's voice can break in with words of peace, hope, and love. Somewhere we know that without a lonely place, our actions can quickly become empty gestures. We need a balance between solitude, loneliness, and community, which is, after all, the basis of Christian life. May we all find our lonely place where the gifts of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control may lift our burdens and renew us.